It's a great day in the neighborhood. I truly hope that it is for you, wherever you may be at locally, globally, or internationally. Welcome. Welcome to my Aisha Speaks Jade podcast, where I am your hostess, Aisha, also known as Jade. Hashtag the researcher. So, today's episode is going to be on, and I know that this speaks for me because this is a current thing that I am going through right now. This episode is 7 tips to declutter your calendar and make time for what matters. 7 tips to declutter your calendar and make time for what matters. Again, I can be very transparent with myself. I've been a little unorganized, and that's typically not me. I'm not saying I am perfect about it, but I know I am, or I like to be an organized person. And it's just been some things going on, and I'm pushing really hard to make sure that I get back organized, as well as get decluttered. So again, 7 tips to declutter your calendar and make time for what matters. So we could all benefit from examining the things on our to-do list and the hours in our days a little more closely. In the spirit of spring cleaning or any season cleaning, okay, here are 7 tips to help you get a handle on your schedule. Number 1 being, and I'm just going to let you know in advance, I'm going to be jumping kind of all over the place. So the first one is take stock and track your time. You can't really clean up your schedule if you don't know what's in it. And that includes all the things on your literal and official calendar, and all the things that aren't. So what's recommended is tracking your hours for a week or even a few days using an app, a spreadsheet, or even a piece of paper. So once you've taken an objective look at where your time's going now, you can start sorting through and deciding what needs to go. Next is purge recurring meetings and tasks. Once you know what's on your calendar, you can and should ask why. Okay? What is the purpose of each thing on here? Are you accomplishing that, or does something need to change? So the key is not being scared to question what's on your calendar. So start with perhaps reoccurring meetings, which can very easily build up and take over your calendar. Each one doesn't have to justify itself. So even if you're not in charge, you can still take action. Perhaps doing some monthly reporting. And if you do so by suggesting solutions, let's say if you're on a job, rather than just posing questions or presenting problems, it makes you look like you're invested in what you're doing. So even if it's someone else's meeting, ask for an agenda. And if there's anything you should read up on or be prepared to discuss, you might just remind the organizer to question those meetings that have been there too, always been there, okay? Next is sort things by importance and urgency. So if you've tracked your time but are having trouble wrapping your head around what should stay and what should go, a suggestion is perhaps maybe using the time management matrix, okay? So jumping into the matrix, would be quadrant number 1, the important, urgent, includes things like crisis, last-minute meetings for important deadlines. The next quadrant is 2, important, not urgent, which could include things like strategic planning, long-term goal setting. The next quadrant is 3, not important and urgent, which includes things like certain emails, phone calls, meetings, and events. And quadrant 4 is not important, not urgent. Include things like scrolling mindlessly through social media, binge watching TV you don't really care about. And I feel like perhaps I may have spoke about this before, but that's okay because somebody needs to hear it. I know I do. Again, I am fully accountable with myself because I know I need this reminder ever so bad. I have never been this unorganized, and it's not a crisis unorganized, and that's not where I want it to go, but this is new for me, being not so organized and feeling really cluttered. So I take ownership for that for myself. Next, want to go over minimize or outsource. Minimize or outsource. So in some cases, you can just say no nicely. You can say no nicely. You don't have to be ignorant or rude to adding a certain event to your calendar or task to your list. Other things just have to get done. That's just what it is. But that doesn't mean you can't make them take up less time or that you have to be the one to do them. If there's a task at work that you could delegate, or I should say, if you're at work or if you have your own business and have employees, is there a task at work or at your own business that you could delegate or outsource? And so if you can't pass off certain tasks to others wholesale, try to minimize the time and effort they require. Okay? So whatever it is that feels like it's encroaching on your schedule, see if there's a way to do less of it. Next is create blocks. So it's easy to look away and come back to find your calendar bursting with various meetings and obligations. Whether it's you or your colleagues dropping each individual item on there, it leaves you with only slithers of heads down time and little hope of accomplishing some of the biggest tasks on your plate. And so part of cleaning up your schedule is finding strategies to prevent it from getting cluttered again, just as you would if you were organizing a physical space. So, I don't know if you've heard of time blocking. So if you find yourself leaving the office, whether in corporate America or your office at home, it's recommended blocking off the last 30 or 45 minutes of your day. You can avoid running out the door immediately after a meeting and give yourself the chance to wind down and transition more smoothly. Wherever your time block, you start to feel refreshed. Okay, next is don't forget downtime. Again, downtime is so important. Okay, time management isn't just about squeezing in as much work as humanly possible into your schedule or even completely clearing it so you can do absolutely nothing. It's also about making room for the non-work things you love and those that allow you to recharge. Okay? That's all about that downtime because it's necessary and needed. And lastly, pretend future you is present you. Pretend future you is present you. So, when you're thinking about something in the future, ask yourself if you do it tomorrow. You know how much energy you have now and presume it'll be pretty similar tomorrow. That allows you to be a little more Judaist. In short, if you wouldn't be excited to do it today or tomorrow, you probably won't be excited to do it in 3 months from now. So make your decisions accordingly, because eventually the future will be tomorrow. So in other words, cleaning up your schedule isn't always about removing things that are already on there, possibly at the risk of damaging professional or personal relationships. It's about getting a handle on your time and keeping it tidy going forward. So think of your schedule cleaning as a long-term goal. Encourage yourself to be bold. If you're a little brave and lot intentional, you'll be able to do less of what you don't like and more of what you do. Thanks, guys. Let me just say that that was the most friendliest reminder for me. And I hope it was for you too. Decluttering yourself and how you can be strategic and do it and not wear yourself out or stress yourself out anymore. That is the goal. We want to work smart. Not to say that we'll never work hard, but we want to get in a position where we can work smart and not work so hard to the point that we're so overwhelmed and stressed that we feel like we're about to just drop. So I want to invite you guys to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and my YouTube channel. Facebook, right here, right now. Instagram, Twitter, and my YouTube channel. You can find me at Aisha Speaks Jade. Aisha Speaks Jade. Go to my YouTube to subscribe by hitting the thumbnail, as well as hit the notification bell to stay in the loop. Again, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, if you have a LinkedIn, you can follow me on LinkedIn at Aisha Jade Speaks. Aisha Jade Speaks. I am on LinkedIn. Please follow. Remember, self-care, self-love, self-respect, knowing your worth and your value is a priority. Never should it be a choice, okay? If it is a choice, perhaps you may need to reevaluate yourself. Stay away from toxic people. Just like Nike, just do it. Step into your belief, step into that fear, and do that thing that will drive you to success, whatever that looks like for you. Create your happiness as well as create your greatness. And always, always remember, through the challenges and obstacles, catch it, check it, and change it. With that in mind, peace and blessings to each and every one of you. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Namaste and Ashe. Be good to yourself. Peace out.